So if you haven't seen it, so Richard first did a tweet. So he did the tweet, and so here's the tweet itself. And he loves these audio messages. So 47-minute audio message. Richard Hart was right again. Enjoy this 47-minute clip and be inspired. You're part of a revolution that's changing the world. Real cryptocurrency, decentralized finance are a durable solution to frauds such as Sam Bankman-Fried and the constant, never-ending erosion of your purchasing power of your money by irresponsible government spending. So I first saw this, I was like, oh, that's okay, interesting image there. Is that like him talking to everyone? And then I was like, oh, it's and then I started hearing more about it. I go, oh, it's actually a clip. It's playing audio. So I went through it this morning and went through each, the whole thing and put up some points up here. So I'll just go through a few of them. So highlights. So SBF punishment vindication for Richard Hart ideals. We talked about that a lot of, not your keys, not your coins. Talked about, just your ability to, there, all this custody stuff, you got into custody and how that's not like the right word. You can't really custody crypto. You can custody keys, however, but you can't like custody funds, like all this miscommunication with the people who live in the real world, the, traditional finance world. So we talked about that. The different wallets, I think it's something people get mixed up a lot, and they try to apply these things that just do not apply whatsoever. The wallet does not hold your crypto. If you don't know what that means, then like Google like how crypto wallets and stuff work. But your wallet and your keys give you access to these numbers on a database, as he would say, on the blockchain that have value and allow you to transfer and do things with them. And the wallet just shows you. The wallet just shows you the money. It just shows you what's there. It shows you the assets. It doesn't hold anything. It is just literally just it's reading the blockchain and saying, hey, according to the blockchain, according to the person, according to these keys, what they map to, here's what assets are in the wallet. It's a very beautiful, nuanced idea. But again, you try to apply all these traditional finance stuff to it, it gets very, very messy. That's what he talks about a lot. And then it's so funny. He went through the things I invented or ideas I came up with that working flawlessly. And he's like, nearly all of them. The first time I cracked up, I was like, oh, PulseX. He's talking about PulseX on that. There was a bug or so with PulseX. You could talk about, go back to the first few days or week or so launching PulseChain. The bridge was backed up, so a little less flawless there. However, of course, the blockchain contracts, as far as hex stuff goes, that's what he's generally referring to as. That's what he's repeated the greatest hits for forever. And that's true. Hex is working perfectly. We'll get to hex though. And the front end stuff as well. So thanks Bitcoin to eventually get to 100K. I believe you said that before, but interesting how, he's still measuring a lot of things by Bitcoin, right? Like he knows Bitcoin is, it's got the most liquidity. It's got the most brand, all that stuff. One day, hopefully Hex will take over. PulseChain will help us get there, I hope, or at least put us, I don't care. Bitcoin could be the new gold. Ethereum can be the world computer, and PulseChain can be PulseChain and Hex can be your products for mad gains, faster stuff, new innovation, new products, like things that can't work on Ethereum and otherwise. So it's there's room. There is no fixed pie, right? Like it's not this zero-sum game. Like trillions of dollars go into this stuff. It's fine if they get split between the things that are amazing work. So that's the thing. We got to win. The best ideas win, right? So we've got some good ideas here. SEC keeps losing. He also talked about, a lot of these government agencies shouldn't be in the business of making laws. I kind of got, this is just my commentary coming from what I heard him say and understand. Again, not a lot of quotes, just a few quotes in here, but it is the legislator's job to make laws and do all these things. And this enforcement stuff, this laws by enforcement, not good for any industry, let alone crypto. I also talked about writing in public comments. And again, that, if you've written in public comments, there's public comments, gpt.com. There's all these websites that make it super easy. These are the things where you can make an impact on the world. That's if you're doing it, you're being that one of thousands of people who are doing it, and the numbers add up like that. So the momentum is there. Pulsepetition.org, got a lot of momentum there. Let's just check in pulsepetition.org real quick. Curious what the number's up to. Because coffee, I think the first time you talked about it was on the show the other night. And we only had a few signatures, and now 6,000. We had like 29 signatures or something the other day. 29 or so. 29 or so signatures. You can read more about, what this is. But I think this is going to be super helpful too. Amicus brief, trying to protect crypto, airbags, otherwise. 6,000, literally, what was that, 29? We got 200x or so, 2 or 300x out of it. Pretty amazing. Whatever X it is, pretty cool. And then, yeah, that's how you make an impact on the world. And then a few quotes here. I hope you all see my actions, how I care from my actions, how much I care about you, and my eyes on the ball. Boom. I love it. Guys, not around. I get to this, I'll get to the favorite quote in a minute, but people are like, oh, Richard disappeared. He's not around anymore. Boy, is he still there, and is he still doing good stuff? I also mentioned Vivek Ramaswamy, and he's a presidential candidate. Says a lot of interesting things. Running as a Republican, but anyways, he wouldn't it be funny if he, I don't know if he'll get the candidacy, but what if he was VP or something? Not that they do a lot, but a lot of those ideals, he's got a lot of controversial ones, but man, a lot of them seem a little healthy too. So Richard likes some of his ideas. Hex is decentralized. You run the code. Again, we'll get to Hex and all the front ends in a bit. But yeah, I like the moves that's happening here. And overall, again, I've talked about on Twitter a little bit how with Gold Key and folks about, I do agree. It's a little confusing for onboards and stuff. I'm going to have to redo some onboarding videos that just got made or get them redone, at least people I work with. But I think it's for a bigger picture, and I think that's what I'm looking for. Doesn't believe crypto is going to declare it from traditional markets. That's another thing he talked about a little bit as well. And then please go try and make the world a better place. Yeah, that's the goal. Again, if you just got here for Hex PulseChain a year or two ago, you may not understand everything about Richard and his mission is what he wants, his glory and all the stuff he's been working on and Scivive and all these things. But I do. And a lot of the people do in the community. And when he says words like this, like they mean something. Like, please try and go make the world a better place. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to be the force for good. He wants to inspire people to be forces for good. He wants to mint millionaires so they can go do good stuff and stand up for rights and otherwise. So again, I've got a ton of RH content if you want to binge that, ton of his vintage clips and otherwise. But I think this is a pretty cool podcast, if you will, what people are calling it. It's like it's not really it's a voice message, but it's so long. It's basically like a monologue podcast type thing. And it's not video. Why isn't it video, by the way? Why isn't he streamed? Why is he, do voice message? Why is he okay doing 47-minute voice message and not streaming? I don't know. Maybe he's not at the castle right now. Maybe he's hanging out at another castle. Maybe he's, it's strategic, obviously. Maybe his hair doesn't look good right now. I don't know. I don't care. I'd love to see him video, or I'd love to see him get on stream more than, just as much as anyone else. But this is pretty cool. I'm okay with these voice messages too. I like it. And again, one of my favorite quotes, he's talking about people saying, oh, he's not here. Am I not here? That's funny because I wake up and work really hard until I fall asleep. And I do it every day and I don't take any days off. He said it before. That's like one of his things. Another one of his quotes is, he's like, I wake up, work as hard as I can, and I do it again the next day. Like that's what this guy does. So just because he's not tweeting all the time, just because he's not, streaming or whatever, it doesn't mean he's not working on stuff this whole time. Like I'm sure he goes and takes a weekend and relaxes or whatever, or has his hobbies and otherwise. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. If you see when he does come back and tweet, especially recently, you see him tweet like quality. Hey, this guy's been researching. Hey, he's been deep diving into a lot of areas that are strategic for the ecosystem and for himself and for us as well. So again, throwback to voice messages. Did you know RH made his book Scivive based on perhaps years worth? He did say like a lifetime worth of audio recordings. So I've got a video a vintage video of him talking about that as well. If you're interested, I'm not going to show it because the ad's right there, but that's something you can check out too. He talks about Scivive. So yeah, what did you all think was interesting about it? I'll kind of leave it up here for a second. Anything that first of all, did you listen to it? Because it's 47 minutes long. So you kind of got to sit there and listen to it, or did you take a drive this morning? I don't think a lot of people even listened to it yet, but if you did, it was pretty inspirational. It was pretty Had some emotion in it, had some good information, had some bragging, of course. But I think, yeah, it was a textbook, Richard. And he talked about some interesting things, kind of gave us some insight of what he's thinking about a lot of different things. I like it. And yeah, made today much more interesting than it already was. I already got a few things to go through, but that was one of the things I thought was cool.